and we will live together until the 12th of never. Our voices will ring to forever as one. Woo, man. That's my philosophy, my inspiration. Like, we can all live life together, right? Earth, Wind, and Fire broke this down for us a long time ago, right? That's what I'm talking about when I say vibrational energy and speaking positivity, right? This is a very successful group that chose to put very positive things in their lyrics. And that's all I'm talking about. You see how that vibe all of a sudden makes us feel better right off the bat, right? So even when we're having difficult conversations, we can understand where the other person's coming from, a place of love. And I just want you guys to know that I'm coming from a place of good energy, good vibration. And I wanted to respond to this comment because this Sarah girl hit me up with a couple of comments that I felt pretty insightful, right? And I wanted to address those so everybody can understand what's going on. And first, right, she asked me if this is rage bait, and I asked what she meant by that. And she was honest enough with me to clarify what she said. So I got to give it props right there, just off of that merit.
All this fighting, it's just so serious.
Right, but I did want to talk about, like, the rage bait, because I'm hearing a couple of you guys saying that, and obviously I'm new on the scene, right? Kaboom, guess who stepped in the room, right? Again, it's a new sheriff in town.
And his name is Reggie Hammond.
So she's challenging to see whether I'm authentic or not, which I fully embrace that, and I'm actually glad. So let me answer all these questions so that you guys know. Like, I live in the Amber universe and have lived in the Amber universe for years. My wife is one of y'all, and she gets all up in it, right? She has binged this series. She's been on it for years. So she understands every in, every out. She knows all the contributors and all the players in the game for years. So when I wake up in the morning, right, we both work from home, both have our own businesses. So when I wake up in the morning, that shit is on, right? When I come, my office is on the other side of the house, right? So I take time out to make sure I go connect with her to see, what you're up to. She keeps the TV in her office and it's on, right? So I walk in, and that's how I actually discover all this stuff, right? By listening to actual content creators, right? Like she watches like all of them. I'm not gonna say all of them, but she watches a good deal of them. And so I knew the major players right off the bat before I ever made a video. Like, on my videos, you notice I came right out the gate and I knew exactly what I was gonna say every single time, because I've had these conversations internally with her. Like, I talked to her about, like, don't listen to these guys because I believe that they're negative. I started out with her. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't like I was purely looking outside. I said, I don't want to have that, like, filtering up in our crib.
I admit it.
Right? It's just real. I didn't want her having the influence, because a lot of times she'll be, it'll be on and she'll be working and doing other stuff. So I know it's just purely going to her subconscious. So sometimes, I don't need this anymore. Sometimes your subconscious is absorbing stuff all the time, right? And that's my point. Like, when you're in these cesspools of energy, like, you can't help but actually absorb that stuff. So I get it, right? I get it, right? So that's the place I'm coming from. And I would challenge anyone, like, on my wife's level of expertise in this field. My wife's a highly intelligent woman, right? Well educated, well read, right? So she's able to give me the precise details on who. And we have conversations. Like, I have conversations with her well before I even started, trying to understand. That's why I already knew some of the back information on some of these content creators. Like with Snowflake, I already knew. She had already hit me, like, who he was, where he came from, some of his background stuff. Like, she got at, she was very, and she's not, like, necessarily on my side of this fence, right?
Bad nose having motherfucker.
That's the truth, right? So, but she understands what I'm doing. She understands me, and she knows how I react to bullies. That's my nature.
I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
Years ago, when Britney Spears was kind of getting dragged, I was very offended by how people were touching Britney Spears. I don't care. Like, I didn't listen to her music. I'm not a fan of her anyway, but I didn't like the idea that people were attacking her, especially when she was vulnerable, and I felt like it was too much. So that's where this stuff's coming from, that I am determined to attack this hate culture. That's where I'm coming from.
When a new kid moves in on your block, what's your attitude? Do you figure, what do we need him for? Well, I pity the fool that makes that mistake.
Appreciate you, like, stepping up and expressing yourself in a very clear way. And I encourage all you guys to do it, but I need you to understand firmly, I'm not an ignorant person. I would be scared to walk in a room and start talking about something that I was ignorant of, right? And I get it, that because my opinion of all that I can consume all that and still spit out a different impression about it than what you got. I know that makes it seem like I'm ignorant, but that's like, just imagine you and your friend go to a movie, and you watch the same movie, right? And you walk out of it with completely different impressions. That's what we're seeing. It's like me and my buddy went and watched Gremlins, which I love, and he hates, right? And I watched Gremlins every year since then. I think it's a great movie. He hates it. He's not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. We simply have a difference of opinion in regards to that. And that's what we're seeing here. But again, I'm going to thank you for your engagement. I'm going to thank you for being respectful. It's kind of nice and refreshing to have just a clear, non-emotional conversation with somebody. And I feel really good about what we accomplished coming out of that. And I feel even more love for your bitch ass.